There's basically 3 questions you got to answer. Is 1, do I know where Amumu is? And then you base the information off that. The second one is 2, can I 1v1 him and do I want to 1v1 him? So if I know he knows I'm going to his blue buff, am I okay with him coming to the blue buff and me contesting it? And then the third question is their top lane or their mid lane going to get there first? Or is my top lane or mid lane going to get there first? Those are really the 3 questions you need to think about when counter jungling. Always be in Tiger form here because you're faster. I mean, yeah, you can use your spear to check, but just walking around, you should always be in Tiger. In Cougar, sorry.
I think they changed that. I checked, you don't get that move speed anymore.
Oh, don't you?
No more. I was also wondering, because when I last played it was a while ago, and you had that. You also had the W reset on kills, but a lot of that feels like it's changed now. It's not the same as before.
Okay, cool. So that ward basically gives you all the vision. This is super dangerous as well, by the way. Have you gotten caught much doing this ward?
No, because usually I reach there much before. I don't lollygag in that bush.
Yeah.
This particular game, for whatever reasons, I decided to go there and wait there.
Yeah.
I autopilot. I don't know why. Normally, I just rush straight there and I chuck a spear. So if anyone's guarding it, they take a spear and I know, okay, you're guarding.
The spear's
good. And I back off.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow, he started E. That is very weird, but okay.
He was being super nice and just tanking it for me. I don't know why.
What's the problem with him tanking this? Think about it strategically.
Strategically, yeah, it makes sense that he tanks it. Because he's into Garen, he's not gonna kill. So yeah.
What's the downside of it?
Downside
for
of
you
it
and
is
for
that,
him.
For me, I don't know what the downside for me is. For him, it is he might lose pressure versus Garen.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit level 2 later. It's not gonna be now.
Yeah. So he's gonna miss out on XP here because look how long he's leashing. So it detriments him. Now, what happens when Zac goes back to lane with 80% health? What does that suggest to Garen and anyone else who looks top?
That I started red.
Exactly. And what does that mean?
That means I could potentially go blue if I wanted.
And it also means the whole enemy team now knows where you started and can now assume where you'll be for the next few minutes of the game.
Okay.
So we really don't want this to happen. This is the first big one. We almost...
Okay.
What I tell top lane is if you play with chat, I actually play chat muted, but generally I'll unmute and say, give me 3 auto attacks, don't use any abilities or lose any health. Because I do not want anyone to know I started topside. Because then it foils your whole plan or reduces the chance of success. Because if Garen's smart, sees Zac come late to lane 80% health, he goes, hey, Amumu, Nidalee started top, or he just pings red buff and says Nidalee there. And then your whole plan is reduced. Its success chance is reduced.
Got it.
Yeah. So simple pings, because I play muted, I literally just ping them off when I want them to leave. And it usually works. But if you play with chat, you can just talk to them. Oh my god, he missed. Yeah, see how much XP this guy misses. It's really bad for him. And let's just do a quick check. So Amumu's going for a full clear. So particularly against champs like Amumu, even Zac, a lot of champs that full clear, this strategy is going to work so well for you. So I really like it. Let's make these traps a bit more efficient, right? So we either trap then spear, so it hits it. Otherwise we've just got to spear. Notice how we've just got a trap here?
Yeah.
Cool, and you should be jumping out and auto-attacking. So you jump out of Cougar, auto-attack to get range. Because when you're Cougar, you're melee, right? You have to get close to the Gromp, and it means it can attack you. Whereas if you go into ranged form, you can actually kite the Gromp all the way up to here, all the way up to here, without it actually attacking you. Plus, you also get to use your spears. So like exactly what you did here, just more often. Yeah, like this. But keep switching, keep switching.
Okay. I like staying in this bush. It just feels safer.
Yeah. Yeah, so see exactly what you're doing. You just got to do it more frequently. When you next watch, I don't know which pros you watch in terms of learning Nidalee. Watch how they do their first clear and pay really particular attention to how they use Cougar form when kiting camps. Because they'll go into human and Cougar really, really quickly. 1, because it can animation cancel. And 2, because it gives them that ranged gap and allows them to kite the camp a lot easier.
Okay.
And we also want to be always leashing the camp to where we want to go. So I assume that you're leashing the camp up here because you either want to gank top or you want to gank mid.
I want to get out of that. I don't want to do wolf. So.
Okay. Cool. There you go. Okay. So we saw Amumu there. Yeah. Alright, so we see Amumu here, yet we don't really react.
Did I have smite?
No, you didn't. You used smite on Gromp. So we see Amumu. And then we technically have reaction time to flash that. Or we just try and flash out of here now. Instead, you try and fight him. Notice what you're doing here. And then we just die to him. So basically, this invade was smart. Maybe Garen realized that you were doing it and pinged Amumu to come over. Maybe he didn't. But overall, it was a little bad.
I think we would have noticed it because the chat actually picks up on...
Yeah, it would have shown pings. Yeah, so let's assume Amumu didn't even know. The one thing that could prevented you from dying, regardless of like your reaction times, is if you cleared these two camps a couple of seconds quicker by rotating in and out of Cougar form just a bit more efficiently.
Okay.
Yeah. So that first death, completely avoidable. I wouldn't say that's a good Amumu. That's just a bit of sloppy counter jungling by us. Cool. So what's the plan now? We're down a kill. What are we going to do? We're going to clear our whole bot quadrant. We're going to...
Yes.
What's the plan? Yep.
So the plan is recovery mode now. We just died to Amumu. We set him behind. He doesn't have Gromp or his blue because we took both of them. So he doesn't have the XP from that. So I can recover by just doing my jungle.
Yep.
And not dying anymore. That's the plan.
Cool. And you also notice when we die early on Nidalee to a jungler who's very weak like Amumu early, we basically eliminate one of our win conditions as Nidalee, which is out-tempo the enemy jungler and kill them. Whereas now, technically, they've out-tempoed us because, look, he's up actually 1 CS technically, and he's also up a kill. So he's up 600 gold, and it's exactly where we don't want Nidalee to be. So that's why that efficiency of clearing is so important, because you've basically almost removed one of your win conditions against Amumu purely by this first death, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can tell you are learning this a little bit. Okay, so he's going to invade you now, which makes sense. Yeah. Again, we can use our flash here. Nice. Okay, you got out without using flash. Good. You just got to
I'm a little greedy.
Yeah, you just got to reset here. I mean, I guess you're kind of limit testing, but you really just got to reset. Because what are we going to get here, right? Unless Akshan, TF, and our support are coming over, there's nothing you can do here. Like, the chance of you killing someone when you're on this kind of health is really, really low. So TF is coming over, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Okay. This Lee's kind of played that really badly. Great job. Now, we see Amumu here, but we don't react or we don't care. There we go, okay. Okay, there's our flash. Nice, good. Okay. How do you play this? Cool. Yeah, nice, good jump back in. Great jump back in. Nice. I want this kiting to be a little quicker. So watch how slow it kind of takes you to react to the play, right? So here, no risk. Like, you're way too far out here. Like, Amumu can't get you, Ziggs can't get you here. So firstly, I want you to close this gap. Like, push up here, right? Because Amumu isn't going for you, and Ziggs isn't going for you either. They're all targeting Akshan, right? Cool. And see, then notice how now we've all of a sudden closed this gap in a really bad way. Now we're too close. So that's what I mean by your reaction times need to get quicker in terms of you need to be intrinsically or instinctually aware of, hey, I need to either close the gap on this enemy or I need to increase the gap on this enemy based on your champion and what you want to do. Because right now you're either getting too close or being too far in terms of spacing between you and the enemy. And we really want to eliminate that because it allows us to play our champion how we want to play it.
Yeah.
Cool. So now I like this kiting. I like this. Good. I mean, and you can tell Amumu's coming here, so you don't actually have to like pressure again, but then you jump in. Excellent. Now you run out again. Now, as soon as Ziggs, see how Ziggs starts running away now? Look how long you're still running away for. Look at this. See, and now you turn around. Ziggs has almost walked so far out here. And now he's almost going to get away. And he does get away. Maybe we couldn't have killed there. Maybe Ziggs would have double killed you. But just in terms of reactions of you need to react quicker to what the enemy does and what you want to do. Particularly in fights and little skirmishes like that. Cool. Nice. Your spears are very good. You're really good at hitting your spears. Jesus, dude. So what I prefer there, that's a very good spear. So let's watch this kill after here. Let's watch this kill and work. I want you to tell me what you could have done better to secure this kill.
Let's see. After all of this, switch to range farm and just start autoing.
Yeah, exactly. Here. No, look how far we run away. Like, you can take 3 turret shots here, but you start running away after 1. You jump in, which is good. But now look how much distance you've created. So now you can't actually rely on the auto attack. You have to rely on a skill shot, which we almost always want to avoid. If we can kill someone with a guaranteed damage, we always want to go for the guaranteed damage rather than the skill shot, right? Because we have a higher chance. So like, great spear, right? Because it's like, looks super cool. You're literally walking away. Like, it's almost BM how you're killing this guy. But we want to avoid that because, again, against better players, he could have flashed that or anything else. Cool. What are we going to do now?
At this point, I had no idea. So I thought, okay, fine. We came here, we take a minion, and then we maybe go to a jungle.
Okay. I'd try and avoid stealing creeps from the mid laner. I just go straight here, right?
Yeah.
Look how much time we have wasted here. So we talk about Nidalee, right? She's a tempo jungler. 708. Look how much time we've wasted not doing anything. Basically 40 seconds of wasted time when Nidalee's at her strongest. Like, first 15 minutes of the game, this is where you want to create leads. And you've just wasted 40 seconds walking all the way through the enemy jungle and taking 1 CS.
Yeah.
What I would have preferred you to do is go, okay, I know these camps aren't spawning, but I stole his blue, so I know when blue spawns. I go straight to my red because I see Amumu. I can't contest this dragon. So there's no point me walking through all the way of jungle, taking 1 mid CS, and then coming back here. What I want you to do is come back to this point. After you gain Garen, you go, okay, what's on the map? Amumu's doing dragon. I can't get there. What can I take on the map? There's no jungle camps up here. Okay, I'm going to take my red. And I can see by the timer, as well as my overlay that I'm using, blue buff is going to be spawning in X amount of seconds. So I take my red and then go to his blue buff.
Got it.
Instead, we do this really wasted time. Cool, we get 1 CS. 40 seconds later, we decide to take his blue. Which is good. We still take the blue, but we've actually wasted a lot of time.
Got it, got it.
Cool. And again, we do not want to be fighting this Amumu, as we can see here. I'm not even sure why you're staying after you kill blue buff. Like, this is where you leave. At this point, I don't think we can 1v1 the Amumu, as we're about to see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I like that you kind of limit testing and really focusing on counter jungling, but we eventually got to get smarter with our counter jungling of going, okay, how many camps can I realistically take before it becomes really dangerous? And in this example, it's literally take blue buff and run, because we know Amumu just took his dragon. We know he would have maybe gone straight to his red because it would have spawned at the same time as your red. And then we can assume he's going to come straight up here. Because you took his blue the first time, he's imprinted in his head, hey, I need to get to my blue buff because Nidalee knows when my blue buff spawns. And so that's exactly what he's thinking, whereas you haven't really processed that. You've just gone, I'm going to take his blue and I'm going to try and take his Gromp as well. And you haven't factored in that, hey, Amumu might know that I'm taking his blue buff and he's going to come over here.
Okay.
And so you even still get out here. So you get out with this blue completely for free. It's only until you decide to go for the Gromp that you actually lose out here.
Oh, one more thing. So if I want to play like this, right?
Yep.
Should I take Sweeper or should I keep the yellow trinket? Because yellow trinket gives me safer vision into his camps, right?
I would prefer you go to Sweeper just because it's more versatile. I don't think yellow trinket, you need it really if you're invading. I think if you need to play defensive and you're the Amumu, I would stay yellow trinket. But if I'm playing Nidalee, I want to be using sweeper. Because you, as an offensive jungler, you should be associating counter jungling with a reason. So we don't just counter jungle because we can counter jungle. We counter jungle because we have information on the enemy jungler. So we take Amumu's blue not because we took it before, not because we know it's spawning. We take his blue buff because we know where Amumu is on the map, and we either know he can contest it or he can't. So you shouldn't need a yellow trinket in the first 10 minutes of the game to understand if Amumu can take the blue buff that you're trying to take off him. Does that make sense? Yeah. You should be able to figure that out by tracking and by seeing him at taking dragon. You should be able to go, okay, what are his potential paths to blue? He either comes up there straight away, he either takes his red and comes up, or he recalls and walks back up. Like, those are the three most obvious ways that he's going to come to this blue buff. And in almost all of those situations, you can get the blue buff and run away. So in this point, yeah, you literally don't need yellow trinket.
Okay.
But that's how you should be thinking about counter jungling. You shouldn't just think of counter jungling, I'm playing Nidalee, therefore I should counter jungle. Because there's going to be games where you play Nidalee, but you still can't counter jungle. Just because of how the game's going. So just think of it as, okay, Nidalee is a counter jungler. So if I have the opportunity, based on the information I know, I can counter jungle. Something Nidalees also have to do, and the reason why you're not doing it this game is because you've died twice, is gank more. If you notice, you've been 100% kill participation here, which is a good thing, but also you should have ganked more in this game. But because you died twice by bad counter jungling decisions, you're actually removing an aspect of you as a jungler and one of Nidalee's key characteristics, and you're also denying your team a chance for them to get back in the game. So the reason we gank, two reasons basically. One, because it suits our champion, and two, because it means we're helping our teammates out. And obviously three, because it's a win condition. If we gank and get kills, our team does better. Like, it's, you know, a general trend. Yeah. But when we start dying, we then go back to, hey, I just need to CS. But then you go, well, shit, actually, I also need to gank as well because I'm a jungler. But we don't do it because we don't have time, or we're trying to play catch up. And the best way we know to play catch up, and it's the safest way, is take our camps and then look to gank.
Got it. I lose tempo, I lose a lot. I lose aspects, basically.
Yeah. Cool, so we're going bot. I mean, this is like pretty tough for you. I don't know how you're going to 2v1 this.
I think I just went to ward.
Yeah. But again, we're wasting time, so it's like, what's the play here? What are we trying to do?
I'm not sure. I think I wanted to get the
kill the Lee Sin, yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure as to why. Oh yeah, right. It's because I wanted to wait here and wait for my guys to come here.
Okay, this is actually pretty smart. Nice. Okay, well played. Very well played. And actually, so this is why I'm really not annoyed at your counter jungling, but it's something you need to fix, is your ganks are really good. Like, when you fight on Nidalee, this gank on Garen that we watched, remember how we watched it and you could have improved it. But overall, it was a really good gank. You had really good awareness of when to gank, why you're ganking. And again here, like, that strategy, I didn't even think of that. Jumping over here, using vision so they can't see you, and then waiting in this bush. It's a really good gank, but when you get behind in tempo, you can't do that on Nidalee as much. You could have ideally done 2 more of these really good ganks in this first 10 minutes of the game. But because we got ourselves behind in tempo, we're limiting our ability to influence the game.
So the key is I shouldn't die when I'm doing these ganks, these counter jungling ganks. Yeah, okay. And so I need to perfect switching in and out of Cougar. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and the biggest thing is, counter jungling is all based on what information you have about Amumu, or how confident you are at beating him in the 1v1. There's basically 3 questions you got to answer. Is 1, do I know where Amumu is? And then you base the information off that. The second one is 2, can I 1v1 him, and do I want to 1v1 him? So if I know he knows I'm going to his blue buff, am I okay with him coming to the blue buff and me contesting it? That's the second question. And then the third question is their top lane or their mid lane going to get there first? Or is my top lane or mid lane going to get there first? Those are really the 3 questions you need to think about when counter jungling.
Okay.
And the rest, it becomes then super black and white. We don't want counter jungling to be some like weird science that we don't really know why we're doing it or when we should do it. We want it to be a black and white answer. I am counter jungling because of XYZ information. Cool, so what's on the map right now? As a jungler, what should we be thinking about right now?
There's Drake. I know they're gonna go for it mostly. The thing is, this Amumu has been whooping my ass, so I wasn't particularly feeling confident about Drake.
Yep.
So I think at this point of time, I was just thinking, you know what? Let me just clear his camps because I can't do the Drake.
Cool.
Because if I go for Drake, I'll probably just get beaten up.
Cool, so we're trading something for the dragon.
Yeah,
that's how you're looking at it.
Yeah, and the thing is, Amumu's ult is a team ult. My ult is not a team ult. So he wants us to be stacked up. So that's his win condition. If I go there and get caught, I mean, that doesn't look great.
No,
so.
Excellent. You're completely right. So the good thing is I asked you that question because I wanted you to be aware of dragon, but I also wanted you to be aware that you can't contest that dragon because of this game state. And because of the champion kits, Amumu versus Nidalee. So really what I want you to see, you do is take his camps, but also can we get a plating? So how much can we take? Because we've got information on Amumu right now. We know that his team and himself, they're going to be focused on dragon. So that leaves top lane and mid lane very open to things that we can do to them. And the best way to get back in this game is kill turret platings because they're really easy sources of income for you and your team. So I want you to counter jungle. I like this, but then I also want you to try and take a plate here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
I want this quicker. Yeah. So it's good. You've gone there. Now your team's getting angry at you because they wanted to team fight, obviously.
Yeah.
And so there's this constant debate as a jungler of, if my team wants to do something, but I don't want to, what do I do? Mm-hmm. Like, do you fight? Do you not? What I would suggest if I'm doing what you've done here and chosen not to engage in dragon is communicate to your team that you're not engaging on dragon and why, if possible. So if you like to chat, say, I'm like, don't go for dragon, we're behind. That's as simple as that. And then it reduces tilt in your team. Again, in a higher ranked game, your team would have understood my jungler's not there, therefore we shouldn't fight for this dragon. But we do have to adapt our playstyle to when we're playing whatever elo we're in. We've basically always got to assume the worst of our teammates, because it's the only way we can play solo queue without getting too angry. Excellent, cool. So you go back to your clear. It's fine.
So this is something I do. I don't really reset. If I can take stuff, I take stuff and then reset. Because anyways, even if I reset, I'm going to go back to take stuff. So that's my logic. So what most people tell you is if you have a lot of gold on you and you can buy something, you should reset. But my problem with that logic is if there's stuff I can take for free, I want to take it. I don't want to reset when I can't take it.
Okay, cool. Let's look at it a different way. What happens when you buy items?
You get stronger, you can clear faster, you can kill faster.
Yeah. Does that suit Nidalee's playstyle?
It does.
Yeah. So I think there's your answer.
But if there's free stuff for me to take, and I know the other guy is going to take the same free stuff, if I recall, then shouldn't I take it first?
Yeah, of course. Take the free stuff, but don't take your camps here. So in this example, what I would have done is take his jungle and then maybe take out my stuff, take this, and then reset. So ideally, I'd just reset after this. So I don't think you're greeting too much here, even though you're on 2.1k, as long as you recall after this. Okay, so there's a fight, so obviously we don't recall if we've got a fight.
Amumu loves me.
Yeah, but... okay, so it ends up going a little bit awkwardly. Yeah, he does love you. Good dodge. There we go. So there's a few different ways, and generally if you're on 2.6k, you really want to recall. Like right now, just recall. As soon as Amumu's out of this fight, you should just recall here. Yeah. And we see why we get punished. Cool, you went Zonya's. I like it. Jesus. There, yeah. And now they're very far ahead. Good spears. You've actually got really good spears. I'm really happy with your skill shots. It's probably one of your best strengths on Nidalee at the moment. That and your ganking. When you do gank, it's actually really good ganking. I don't know if this game's an exception or you usually gank quite well, but I really like your understanding of ganking and your skill shots. Okay, so what don't I like about this situation?
Dragon spawning, I'm on top.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing Herald while they're all down there.
Yeah, and we're also, what I said earlier is we're not matching our team's tempo or what they want to do. So, and notice again, our team wants to fight, and they're actually winning this fight, but we're top lane. What's there to get top lane? It's 18 minutes in, you've got 8k gold, so you don't really need more farm. You're at 109 CS per minute. Sorry, not per minute, but you're at a good farm. Your basic highest farm in the game. So at some point we've got to understand, okay, I've got to stop farming as Nidalee, and I got to start helping my team. Because every team fight you're not a part of makes it harder for your team to win and easier for your enemy to win. So when we're top lane and our teammates are fighting bot lane, it puts us in a really awkward position, and it gets them, they get angry and tilted at you because you're top while they're bot. Good, good, good. Avoid these camps. Good, rotate. This is your first team fight, by the way, if you haven't noticed. 18 minutes in, this is the first team fight you're joining. The good thing is your team already has priority, which is good to see. Cool, cool, cool. Smite fight. Excellent.
Yeah, super low.
Yep, just run. Cool. First team fight. What happened? Let's review the aftermath. Who got dragon?
We did.
How many kills did the enemy get?
They got 1.
How many kills did you guys get?
We got Amumu.
Yep. So we won that fight, right?
Yep.
Excellent. So the first team fight we're a part of, we win. And it's the first team fight your team has won in this game. So that should indicate to you that you need to get in more team fights. Because if you're really far ahead, but you're not engaging in team fights, it means all this gold you have, this 8.1k gold, you're using to kill creeps instead of killing enemies and contesting objectives. So you could have the most gold in the game, but if you're never using it for a win condition, it's useless money. It's absolutely worthless.
Got it.
Excellent. So you had really good indicators there that this team fight was going to go well. 1, because they had a little skirmish here that went well. 2, because we saw Amumu up here, therefore it meant we can get priority on Dragon. And 3, you rotated and took a chance on your team, and it paid off. 1 for 1 plus Dragon. Yeah.
They were all there.
Yeah, exactly.
If I didn't go there, they would have straight up reported me.
Yeah, but that's not why we want to go to Dragon. We don't want to go to Dragon because they'll report us. We want to go to Dragon because it's the right call to make.
I know, I was joking.
I know. Excellent, cool. We go back to farming. Now, I want you to group again shortly. So as soon as your team starts grouping again, I want you to group.
Okay. See, that's the thing that I didn't understand. Like even when it comes to objectives, right? Like sometimes, I mean, I don't imagine Nidalee doing Dragon on her own. She's not one of those champions. Sometimes I just don't know what to do.
Yeah. Excellent. This is what you do. Cool. Fuck, you don't miss spears, man. You've got like a heat-seeking missile or something. Look at this. We're in another fight. What happens? 2 deaths, 3 kills. That's a win. You look how far so you're not that far behind in gold, but you're very far behind in kills and turrets. So every time you guys get a team fight and you win is really good for 2 reasons. 1, because you guys are behind. So if you win a team fight, that means that it's a win condition for you. And 2, Amumu's a better team fighter than you. So if you can win a team fight against someone who's a better team fighter than you, you guys are playing really well. So it's really good that you're coming into your team fights now. I just wanted it to happen a little bit earlier this game. Cool, I don't mind the angle here. We kind of almost let Nidalee die. Excellent. We can kill him. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. There we go. Good. Excellent. Look at you in a team fight. You guys now turn that into a... You basically unofficially ace them. There. All because you were in that team fight. Great job. Mr.
I don't know
Spear.
how the spear missed.
Mr.
I have no
Spear,
idea
that's
how.
okay. You hit the hard spears, so it's fine. We can miss the easy ones. Cool. Okay, you're lost. Recall. Good. Excellent. you need to trigger recalling earlier, because we just wasted another 4 seconds there thinking about when we should recall. So all I wanted you to do is recall here and not take Gromp, because it's delaying you too much. Gromp is not important. At 21 minutes, you don't need Gromp Gold at all. You can just take that when you reset. Because now, doing this, you're now setting your recall timer later than your teammates. So look at all your teammates are now out of base, basically. But you're going to take your wolves, adding another 10-15 seconds, and then you're going to recall, and now you're about 30 to 40 seconds behind what they want to do in terms of tempo.
Okay, got it.
And let me guess, you're going to go for Raptors. You're literally sitting on 4k gold. Reset after this blue buff. Do not keep doing your camps.
Yeah.
Because now your team wants to fight, and you're sitting literally on almost more than a third of your gold. You're sitting on, and your team's winning. But it's like you're almost like trying to lose the game because you're sitting on so much gold. It's like you're trying to make it harder for yourself. Good. Excellent, excellent. Cool, dragon spawning, Baron's up, so let's see how you play this macro. Oh, damn, Zach died. Okay, this team fight could be okay because Garen's bot, but it's a bit risky. Cool, this probably means dragon's going to be really hard for us to take. Nice. If we buy Zhonya's, we should use it. We should never be dying with Flash or Zhonya's up. You did not get 100 to 0 with CC there. You had opportunities to either use Zhonya's or Flash. I also noticed you don't take much command with your team. You don't ping that much. As a jungler, you should be trying to shot call. Like, what objectives we want to take. You should almost be thinking macro. Because generally, the jungler is the most macro-focused player in the team, because they're trying to focus on all 3 lanes, as well as dragons and barons. Nice spear. Yeah, he's dead. Wow. Excellent. Good job. Cool. Zach's bot, so you guys really don't want to fight until Zach comes. And you've got 2 options here. You guys either go for dragon and let them take baron, or you try and contest both. It really depends what they're going to do.
I hadn't realized it at the time, but it was sold for them.
Yeah. Yeah, as a jungler, you should be very aware of the dragon count and what's coming up next. But these are all a lot of things. You're relatively new to jungle, so it's okay. League of Legends is actually a highly complex game. We try and simplify it, but it's actually a lot of information. Cool. You guys decide for the trade. I don't mind it. It's not the best outcome, but it's the outcome you guys have to do based in the game situation. So the fact that you can even trade Baron here is really good. That's excellent. Well played. Cool. Now you guys should group. Whether it's mid, whether it's bot, you guys should group together. Stop farming. Yep, good. Go help your team. Excellent. Cool. They can see you, I think. Yeah, they can see you here if we're looking at their vision. Just as a word of they can't see you here, but yeah, that vision will always get you.
Okay.
Yes, and then they all ping. But I mean, Lee Sin still ends up walking into you, so who knows? Somehow worked out. Nice. I really like how you play Nidalee in the late game. It's a shame there, obviously. Let's see if we can flash out in time. No. Oh, you don't even have flash. No, don't mind what you're doing here because it's desperate and you kind of need to be desperate when the game states like this. You're not going to win this game by playing traditional macro because they're going to win the traditional macro game. So the fact that you're looking for picks and kills, I don't mind it at this stage of the game. But if you're doing that when you're really far ahead, sometimes it's not the best call. But you guys basically need a miracle to win this game at this point. Low key. Yeah. You should be using your smite aggressively like every fight. And you can even go blue smite, makes it easier to hit your spears because it's a slowing smite rather than red smite. Red smite's better for dueling, so you could go, well, I'm versing Amumu, therefore I want to be able to duel a bit more. Red smite makes sense, but blue smite is better if like, hey, I want to hit more skill shots and I want to like kill people easier. Yeah. I mean, at this point, your team, where you're just going desperate, it's very hard to do much. Cool. Yeah. That should be GG.
Yeah.
Okay, watching that game, what did we learn?
Starting my leash, I need to make sure that he doesn't stick around and tank it, so that gives the entire world an information on where we start. So we don't let them know if we're starting as much as possible. And my kiting in the jungle has to switch between Cougar and human so that I clear as quickly as possible. If I would have done that in the start of the game, I would have gotten out of there before Amumu even got to blue, because I got blue just as he appeared. So if I would have just chucked the spear at Gromp, I would have actually cleared it faster. The start of the game, that was bad. And my future invades also weren't the cleanest. So if I avoid those deaths, I get tempo and then the game changes. But that game, with all my early deaths, I still try to do what I could. I was doing decent up until mid-game, I think. But it could have certainly have been a whole lot better if I would have just done the starting players and not died earlier.
Yeah. What else? Terms of pathing, recalling, and team fighting.
Right. So if I need to match my team's recall. If I see Grump spawning and I know Wolf is gonna come up and Raptor and Krugs, and my team is already on their way out, I get out. If my team is still on the map, then I stay on the map. Otherwise, I recall when I have gold on me. I do not stick around and do another full clear and then stick around with.
Or if you're on 4k gold and they want to stay, communicate clearly to them that you're recalling because you're on 4k gold. So ping them to go away and ping your gold. And then if you really need to reset, do that. And hopefully they should listen. Ideally, as soon as you're over 1500 gold, you need to start looking to recall. So start looking for opportunities once you're at around 1500 gold after 10 minutes. Because imagine a team 10k ahead in gold, right? But they haven't spent it. They're actually even, literally even in money with the enemy team. Because the enemy team has spent their gold and the other team hasn't. So even though you could be 10k ahead, you could actually technically be in the next team fight even on income and therefore items, which is a better way to look at why we should recall and buy items. What did I say about spacing?
Right. Pay attention to when they're backing off and be faster with all my movements. React faster.
Yeah. So what were you happy about watching that game back? What did you think you did well based on what you saw, but also what I said?
So I messed up the initial bits, but I didn't give in to despair. I still tried. Yep. And I got that bot kill on Lee Sin, which I'm super happy about.
Yeah.
And even mid-game, when I got those 4 kills, the Lee Sin, the MF, the Amumu, and the Ziggs, I was happy about that because the angle of gank for Ziggs, I mean, normal junglers, you just go in and do it. With Nidalee, I chose to take the dragon route because it's kind of unpredictable.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't expect it. So I was happy that I could spot it in the moment. And that's what gave me reassurance. Now, with what you showed me, what I understood was the Gromp clear and the blue clear would have been possible if I would have just done it properly. Mm-hmm. Amumu wouldn't have made it in time. So that's something that I would not have seen on my own. This game would have just gone, with me not having that understanding. You didn't point that out. So,
yep.
So that is something I'm going to fix. With respect to shot calling, if I'm behind, and right now I'm learning the champ and her role in the team, so I'm not comfy with shot calling right now. I will just anti-shot call if the call was bad.
Yeah.
Like the obvious ones are obvious, like if someone dies on top and there's like 4 of us near mid, we go Baron. Right? But I also need to pay attention to Drake. I didn't realize it was their soul. It was a lot of information. I was scared of Amumu. I didn't want to cause despair in my team if I don't show up. So there were a lot of things like that. So all of that was it was a hard game, but it was also fun.
Yeah. No, I think it was good. I think it was really good. I just added in some points there. I think this is a lot, as you said, there's a lot of information when you play jungle, and we've gone through a lot here that you've got to work on. I think priorities are you need to watch a jungler who plays Nidalee, watch how they use Cougar human form when they're clearing, and watch how they use Cougar in human form when they're ganking. Those two things I want you to look at immediately.
Okay.
The next one is the counter jungling. I want you to base your counter jungling off information about the enemy, not just because you can counter jungle or because that camp is up. I want you to base your counter jungle off, I am counter jungling because of XYZ. Like, I know where the enemy jungler is, therefore I'm counter jungling.
Got it. This is specifically that 7 or 8 minute mark, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The fourth one is the tempo. In the mid-late game, Nidalee starts dropping off, so if you're not matching tempo with your team, you're reducing your chances of winning the game, because Nidalee wants to close out games before 25 minutes. Every minute over like the 20-minute mark, Nidalee starts dropping off potentially. Like, the risk of her becoming useless or irrelevant increases dramatically. So the quicker we can end games, the better it is, and the best way to end games is group, take objectives, and play for win conditions. Win conditions aren't farming top lane when your team's bot lane. It's grouping when dragons respawning. It's grouping when your team groups mid. All that kind of stuff. And when you started doing it, your team actually started improving. It was just a little too late.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
I've got to fly, but I think this is really good information. A couple of things. I've recorded this session, so I'll send you the recording, so you can go through it in your own time if you prefer that. And I'll also send you these little notes I've done of what needs to be improved and what you're doing well.
Cool.
If you've got any questions, just because I've got to run, feel free to shoot them to me on Discord, and I'll be able to answer them, just not straight away.
That's fine. That's fine.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, but overall, your Nidalee's good. There's nothing too alarming there. A lot of quick wins you can do to improve really quickly and start playing better. And yeah, just you got to spam her and get comfortable. As you said, like your Pantheon, the more games you play, the more comfortable you're going to get, and then the cooler stuff you can do, and the more you can kind of utilize Nidalee to her full potential.